I think this one's gonna be controversial. Hey guys, so today I am going to be answering a question that I get asked a lot, either from you guys or actually even from family and friends. And that question is, why do vegans like eating faux meats, meat tasting things? Why do vegans like eating meat? Somehow they always seem, very outraged and very shocked to hear me say like I'm using things like, like faux shrimp or faux beef. It's always like, well, why don't you just eat, beans or whatnot? And so today I'm just going to answer that question, just because I do think that a lot of people, it does boggle their mind as to that. And also I don't want to offend anyone when I am, cooking certain things or taking photos of certain things, etc., etc. So short answer is there is no linkage really between my taste buds or a person's taste buds and their reasoning for going vegan. So for me personally, and for most of my friends, most of the time I find that people go vegan or vegetarian either for health or for animal welfare. It could be like animal welfare and also caring about the environment as well. But when I explain it to people, it's really that I can want to be healthy and I can want fair treatment of animals and I can want the environment to be a better place and yet still like the flavor of meat. Like there's no kind of linkage as to what I find delicious and then also like the reasons of why I'm choosing not to eat those things. So that's kind of the long answer short. Taste buds, reasons, they don't link. What I find delicious is what I find delicious. And what you guys find delicious is what you guys find delicious. And I completely understand that there are those of you who just kind of, you're not comfortable seeing meat, or it kind of doesn't make you feel good. The smell of meat, really is not necessarily that pleasant, and for sure I definitely understand that, and I apologize sometimes for when I go on these market tours I'll take pictures of everything, and so I know that can be hard for some people to see. And for sure, like now when I enter a big meat market and I kind of smell everything, I can get a little bit crazed out by that as well. But I think the big takeaway that I wanted to say is really, the mantra, you do you. So if what you're doing doesn't necessarily concern me or what you're doing doesn't necessarily hurt me, then, you do the best that you can and you do your own thing, right? Because everybody has different circumstances in life. Everybody has different backgrounds. Like maybe you want to become vegan, but your family, you're still young and your family cooks meat. So, sometimes you might have to eat that. Or, maybe like for me anyways, I do a lot of traveling and, food is what I do for work. So I always, try things that are not vegan sometimes during my trip. I really just think it's one of those things where like vegans and I don't know, just like anybody with a viewpoint, it's always nice to be empathetic and to be tolerant and to also be inclusive, like especially for vegans, because it is a really good message for the world, whether you're doing it for health, whether you're doing it for animals, whether you're doing it for the environment. Like spreading vegan habits, vegan eating, that's a really, really good thing. And I know it's hard, but I think that anytime when people start kind of, kind of like doing that thing where like, oh, I'm better than you because like I don't eat faux meats, or I'm better than you because of this, it really like isolates people. And then it becomes really hard to enter. And, like even if I was thinking of becoming vegan, like, there's always those stories of like, oh, like you're that person, you're that vegan. And I think for the most part, that comes from a really good place. That just comes from a place where it's like, I'm really passionate about vegan things and I want your health to be good and I want the environment to be great. So, that's what I want you to do as well. And people get it. I just think like you just need to give them time and you need to, give them the room to adapt and the tools to adapt and just to be like loving and inclusive. And if people have questions about your lifestyle, just answer it and, make recommendations, but, don't be too, like uppity or snooty about it, really. And I think that really goes for anything in life, and that the message for vegans and veganism anyways is to just spread it. and not to be isolating and to be friendly and to be welcoming, even though I know sometimes it is not welcoming for vegans, you know, like when we eat out, or, you know, when we hear, you know, not so nice headlines of, you know, like vegan things, you know, just they're learning as well. So for me personally, you know, prior to becoming vegan, I was really a culinarian. I was really a lover of food. Not necessarily just eating it, but learning about it, learning about the culture. You know, one of my favorite things that I love to do when I travel is to, you know, go to farmers markets and go to food markets and talk to the people at the stalls, you know, like, you know, where are your cows coming from? Like, what grasses do they eat? And how do you make this cheese? And how much fermentation goes into that? And, you know, I can talk to a sausage maker about how much fat you put into the whatever, and what do you feed your pigs? I don't know, like, I think for me personally, I'm able to somewhat decouple like animal welfare, I guess, and then meat, because I do think that there are people out there that truly respect animals, and you know, using animals as nourishment is a very old form of something, and there's something to be said, you know, about that as well, and people respecting their animals and respecting their livestock, and then using that as a form of, you know, nutrient as well. It's just, it's different, right? And so I do apologize, like, if you guys follow me on Instagram and stuff, sometimes I will be at a meat market every now and then, and I will be gramming photos there, but it's just, I Instagram everything, and I want you guys to see everything, and I want you guys to be there with me, and I want you guys to share it with me and my experiences and stuff. So yeah, so for me, you know, I'm vegan, but the videos that I want to show you guys, the photos that I want to show you guys, is of food, and is of culture, and is of how people live, and how that all relates to food. So yeah, that's just my mini explanation, and if you guys have any questions, definitely write them down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to really answer everything, and I hope that clarifies some things for you guys. All right, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye.